group or their key population. This afternoon going to add to that discourse and see where we then place adolescent girls, young women, and young women also. So just to set the tone, I think we all need to clearly, and most of us know this already, the definitions in terms of age group we are talking about. So technically speaking, for adolescents, we are talking 10 to 19, and when extended to young persons, then to 24 group or their key population. This afternoon going to add to that discourse and see where we then place adolescent girls, young women, and young women also. So just to set the tone, I think we all need to clearly, and most of us know this already, the definitions in terms of age group we are talking about. So technically speaking, for adolescents, we are talking 10 to 19, and when extended to young persons, then to 24. Adolescents and young women, and in fact all adolescents, need a minimum package of services which highlight the sexual and reproductive health services among many other things for a holistic approach. If you focus on the sexual and reproductive health services, of course, HIV services, but in addition to the many other factors that would influence that invariably. If you pick the HIV services, again, you see a picture of many activities coming together to help these adolescents deal with HIV, particularly with a focus on prevention, and then also for those who are infected, the issues related to their care, which include the psychosocial supports that sometimes are missing in interventions. These adolescents and young women are supposed to be in school, most of them. So any intervention for them will have to factor that in. So you have to look at those that are in school, and of course, some who are also out of school. So again, this is mainly focused on what is available in the Ghana Family Health Mission, Ghana Health Services and documents for these adolescents and young women. But it clearly shows that you have to cover both groups and ensure that you are able to reach them. So it may sound so far as if everything is there on paper and book, that we have services for these young adolescents, girls and young women. But if everything was okay, then we wouldn't be seeing the HIV rates that we see, particularly with new infections. So there are still barriers across the globe that we need to look at. So these barriers are widespread. This list is not exhaustive. I'm sure that as the various countries here think through their own countries, they will find additional things that may not be stated here. But interestingly, sometimes services that are available are even not, the adolescents and young girls may not even be aware. Also, when services are limited to specific physical structures that you have to go to, then there is a limitation of access there. And to talk about religious and cultural beliefs, these are the group that we don't expect them to be having sex in the African context generally, and in fact, in many settings, there are issues related to their sexuality that makes it even difficult to manage or handle the laws and policies. So if you still have your age for consent for testing at 18, which is the case in Ghana and most countries, then you know that there is a barrier that has to be addressed somehow to make sure that they can even access it. So this model here tries to look at a holistic, multifaceted way of looking at how to deal with adolescent girls and young women. It also has to be evidence-based. So for each of these blocks, whatever interventions are attempted must be based on evidence to show that these would work and not just trials. There have been many years of trying things, but the evidence is not there and we need to look at it. So be able to come up with approaches that encompass some of these blocks. And again, a very neglected part sometimes is engaging the young people themselves into whatever is being done for them. So I just want to pick on a few interventions that have been shown in literature that they have worked, and see how all of us think about it, and in the further panel discussions we can all deliberate on these approaches and what we are doing in our countries, what we could do if we are not doing. The whole idea is to empower these adolescent girls and young women. So whatever interventions that are done should have that final goal of empowering them. So one first approach which has been proven to be effective is keeping girls in school. They sound as simple as that, keeping them in school. A study in Botswana of projects focusing on making sure that these girls and young women spend longer time in school before stopping clearly proved that it was protective against HIV transmission. It reduced the prevalence among the girls who benefited. Why would that be? And I'm sure if this was thrown to us, we can all suggest why that possibility. Because as they stay in school, not just the knowledge they acquire, in fact, they have a focus that is less likely that they will have time and spend in other activities that will increase their risk for HIV. Then we have what is described as the comprehensive sexuality education programs. This thing sometimes scares people because we are worried sometimes about the content of what they report. But let me show you the definition of this from UNESCO. It says an age-appropriate, culturally relevant approach to teaching about sex and relationships by providing scientifically accurate, realistic, non-judgmental information. So this definition is really encompassing. So it means that whatever is done or adopted by a country would have that country context, culturally relevant, age appropriateness. But it has been shown that when this is done, the knowledge level of these adolescent girls and young women on their sexual and reproductive health issues, on HIV specifically, increase. And with that increase in knowledge, they are empowered to take decisions about condom use, negotiation process, and many other things. So this compared with programs that focus on just purely abstinence and very restrictive education was clearly shown that the CSE approach provided more benefits. Then there is also a way of looking at holistic adolescent and youth-friendly approaches. These approaches cover these three main areas that are highlighted here. So when you take the service provisions at the health service level, you will see that this is where adolescent girls and young women will benefit from what we usually simply say one-stop shop, the integrated service delivery approach, so that they would not go to one person for HIV testing, go to another person for family planning, go here, but a place that they can go and actually have service provided in a holistic manner that they would live happy. Social approaches. Today's generation are a group that interact with all sorts of groups by different means, and so it has become relevant to look at a means of approaching them through technology and others, so that if they are able to be reached by information without necessarily coming to a physical location, that's what has been found to be very useful. The other means of it is the usual, what we say, providing a safe and supportive environment where these adolescents and young women come together and actually deliberate on what approaches, what services they need, how they want it, and get information from each other. So one group, again, I can highlight this example from Malawi, the Zatu Youth Group, where these young women in here, they include the partners, the men, come together and even using approaches like music to educate each other and help each other get what is needed and get empowered to take decisions about their HIV preventive options. And of course, economic approaches. This is a bit dicey because the evidence from literature shows that in certain settings it didn't really help. So you want them to be able to have financial independence so that they are not dependent on someone for money, and that would increase their vulnerability. But in doing that also, you have to be sure that it doesn't just become a means of somebody going to collect money. So different groups have tried different things, but one link from economic approaches is the link to education, that if they are educated, they might find their own employment and become people who can fend for themselves and so empowered to deal with their life choices. And do you remember the statistics on how many experience courses in a week? So it means that if you are doing anything for these adolescent girls and young women, that would be another way you definitely have to tackle it. So there are programs where they have ensured, for example, they've involved males in South Africa to make sure that they are educated on how to handle these adolescent girls and young women. There are examples where these adolescent girls and young women have been given, let's put it, self-defense training. And that particular one, the follow-up study showed that the number who were assaulted reduced after the study period. So this area also requires a lot of attention. Of course, it would be linked with the issue of post-exposure prophylaxis for those survivors also. And as the title said, adolescent girls and women and their partners. So if you want to get their partners, we have to bring in the male engagement and other areas where, based on your country, may still require attention by male circumcision, and also particularly engaging the community. So community engagement approaches have also been used, for example, in Nigeria, where they describe the voices of change, who were trained, and they made sure they trained religious and traditional leaders on gender issues and how to deal with these adolescent girls and young women. And that also went a long way to impact on the HIV prevention among that population. So this is just an example again from Ghana of how the technology is being used to reach these adolescent girls and young women via a mobile app that they can get access to information in the safe comfort of their home and actually take decisions based on that. So despite all these areas that have been tried, definitely there are areas that every country would need to look at. The age of consent for testing I've mentioned. Something as in quote basic as data capture, segregating adolescent and young persons' data is a challenge. It's a challenge in Ghana. I don't know what is happening in Chad or Burkina Faso, but this is something that needs attention also. Disclosure. You find that from this study, a number of young girls and young women have not been informed by their caregivers of their HIV status, so handling or dealing with them was an issue. And of course, if we don't, as a society, expect them to have partners, then how do we deal with the partners for screening? So we need to definitely take a decision on that. How to involve their networks into care. Some countries have done very well in this. Ghana is here and there, but I think this also requires a lot of attention and further research across countries will help. So in conclusion, they keep showing me the time. They need us, and it's time to implement interventions which have been proven to work. You don't need to reinvent them. sources, then when you have it, you would be able to get the details of where this content came from, and I'd like to acknowledge all the partners. Thank you.